the atrocities that were committed, but also the plunder of the country's resources. Why wouldn't you want all of that money back in the hands of the Filipino people?
Well, we the narrative.
May I just ask you why that's funny?
Where that?
Why that's funny? I'm asking you a question about the plundering of large sums of money from the Filipino people.
Okay, normally pag may mga katanungan ganyan kay Marcos at hindi niya nagustuhan or hindi niya gusto yung mga katanungan, anong ginagawa niya? Nagbaback out o kaya tinatalikuran na lang niya or hindi niya sinasagot, diba? Tatalikod normally. Halimbawa, pinaswitan mo siya or tinanong mo siya, mga media, diba, sa labas for example, tinanong siya ng mga tanong na hindi niya nagugustuhan, tatalikuran kanyan. Pero dito kasi, paano siya tatalikod dito? Naka-contain sila nasa closed door sila, so wala siyang choice di ba? So unang napansin ko diyan, mga kaibigan, mga kapatid, mga kaibigan, no? Ganito siya ka-weak. Kasi on a confrontation, hindi niya kaya palang magpakita ng kanyang, alam mo, ipakita na ikaw ay malakas. Malakas ang dating, parang gano'n na ka. Hindi ka basta pwedeng supalpalin ng kahit sino man, di ba? Not to think, interviewer or reporter yang nagtatanong sa'yo. Iba-iba tayo ng karakter, pero dito pinakita niya na weak pala talaga siya. Kasi of course wala kang takas, sabi ko nga, pag nasa labas ito, tatalikuran ka lang niya, hindi ka niya sasagutin, tawanan ka lang niya, ganun. Pero dito, hindi niya, alam mo yung parang, halimbawa si Donald Trump, pag tinanong siya ng mga katanungan na hindi niya gusto, supalpal yun, di ba? Anong gagawin ni Donald Trump? Susupalpalin niya pabalik yung tao. Ganon din si Duterte. Pag siya ay sinabihan or tinanong siya, susupalpalin niya pabalik. Pero ito, wala siyang ginawa. Okay? Parang natutorete pa siya. Pangalawang na-observe ko dito is hinayaan niya lang na bastusin siya. Kasi whether we like it or not, whether hindi natin gusto itong Pangulo ng bansang Pilipinas, binastos siya dito Unang-una, pinagbigyan ka. Di ba? Pinagbigyan ka ng isang Pangulo ng isang bansa. Tapos, nagsasalita pa yung tao, in-interfere mo, tapos tanungin mo, anong nakakatawa? Ganun yun sa Tagalog Wala siyang nagawa. That only shows na weak talaga ang Pangulo. Diba tinanong siya, may I ask, tinanong siya about dun sa corruption. Ang sagot niya is, yung ganun. Ganun lagi ang reaction nitong si Marcos kapag meron siyang sinasabi na hindi totoo. Or, in general, hindi lang siya. Diba ganun tayo minsan kapag nagpapalusot tayo tapos hindi acceptable, diba dinadaan natin sa tawa. Ganun palagi kapag meron tinanong with regard to doon sa ill-gotten wealth, yung mga ganito ni Marcos, anong sagot niya? Just like itong yung sinasabi ni Pastor Kibuloy na in danger yung buhay ni Pastor Kibuloy, na parang siya ay may plano na siya ay kikidnapin. So ano yung reaction niya, 'di ba? Tawa-tawa. Ganun 'yun kapag psychologically, kapag hindi totoo yung sinasabi mo or hindi mo masagot dahil guilty ka, idadaan mo sa tawa.
A quit claim. Signed many quit claims. Any money that you find is yours. And finish. And we everything was taken from us. We were taken to Hawaii. Everything was taken from us. We had nothing left.
Not the view of the Presidential Commission.
I'm sorry?
Not the view of the Presidential Commission. This is my final question.
Yun nga yung problema dyan Sabi niya cases were filed, kumbaga sa korte dapat idaan dyan, kinasuhan naman kami sa korte, ako at ng pamilya ko, pero wala naman, di ba? Wala naman, na-dismiss, parang ganito. Nakita ninyo nung nanalo na itong si Marcos Jr., yung mga kaso nila finally ay na-dismiss. Kataka-taka, di ba? At yung mga dilawan na nakulong under Duterte's administration, nakalabas. So makikita niyo ninyo dito yung manipulation nung government institutions. Yung sinasabi nila na ito ay whole of the nation approach, ginagamit nila yung kanilang power, kapangyarihan. Lahat ng institution ng gobyerno, nagagawa nilang lahat. Kaya walang imposible dito kay Marcos talaga.
On this topic
Which presidential commission?
in the Philippines. Their view is there's a large amount of money outstanding.
Ang tanong kasi ng interviewer is, sabi nung Presidential Commission or Anti-Corruption Commission ay talagang bilyong-bilyong US dollars ang kinamkam ninyo. Sabi ano na yung nangyari doon? Sabi niya lahat naman kinuha na sa amin. Nag-file kami ng quit claims, lahat ng ari-arian namin kukunin, kinuha na, sabi niya gano'n, di ba? Sige, sabihin na natin given kinuha ng gobyerno at ang masaklap, kinuha ng gobyerno, which is the Aquinos, saan kaya napunta? So parehas yung Aquino at Marcos, parehas lang din. Nakikita ninyo yung resemblance ng kanyang tatay sa ngayon? It's the same. Anong ginagawa ng Marcos administration ngayon? Kinakamkam ang pondo, ang pera ng taong bayan. Kaya nga, kung hindi matatapos ang gobyernong ito ngayon, malamang pagkatapos ng kanyang termino, at yan ay kung matatapos in 6 years, baka nga dadagdagan nila no? Pagkatapos matapos yung kanyang termino, wala na, said na ang pondo ng Pilipinas. Kaya lang, kita mo pagkapanalo, anong unang ginawa nitong si Marcos Jr.? Tinanggal niya yung Corruption Commission. So paano na natin mahahabol itong ginagawa nilang pangangamkam kung wala na tayong government institution to pursue or to audit itong pinaggagawa ng gobyernong ito? Dahil ang ginawa niya, tinanggal niya yung Corruption Commission, yung PECC, tinanggal niya at hinawakan nila. Sabi daw yung nasa executive secretary. Paano mangyari yun? Iba yung function ng executive secretary or yung PCO or whatever. Bakit tinanggal yung PACC? So it's all the resemblance of kanyang tatay. Ganon din ang ginagawa ng anak ngayon. So alam niyo, sa totoo lang, with ang lesson lang talaga dito, alam ng mundo kung anong ginawa ng kanyang tatay. At alam din ng mundo kung ano ang ginagawa nung anak ngayon. Sa ngayon, anong ginagawa nila? Hinahayaan lang nila muna na gawin ni Marcos ang kanyang ginagawa ngayon dahil nakikinabang sila. Pero pagdating ng araw, ang gagawin nila pagkatapos ipabagsak yung Duterte, siya din ang isusunod. Yan ang tandaan mo, Marcos.
Not felt any tug or temptation to make it a more authoritarian system.
You've been a politician for a very long time. You have a very clear understanding of your country's history. And you obviously revere your father. I've seen you talk about him. Do you also understand the costs of his authoritarian rule to people in the Philippines?
Well, it was a very different sort of authoritarian rule. I think when people think of an authoritarian rule, it was non-participatory. Whereas I think the version that my father tried to promote and actually practiced was very much still with the participation of all stakeholders that were involved. It was just a peace and order situation that really dictated the necessity for the declaration of martial law.
Let me just understand make sure that we're talking about the same thing. I think Amnesty records that during that period, 70,000 people were imprisoned, 34,000 tortured, and 3,200 people killed are the numbers. And your father, in an interview, admitted that over 50,000 were detained. So I just want to ask you again, do you accept that there was a human cost
Oh yes,
to that rule?
there always is. It was war. And with war, the death and destruction is inevitable. But this is a war not declared by the government of the Philippines. This was declared a war. These wars were declared on the government of the Philippines, and both of them were. One was to divide the country, and the other one was to remove the present political system by armed struggle.
There is one series of questions that comes up in relation to your father's time, which is of course the question of corruption, which became wholly associated with the Philippines for a long period of time. I think contemporary court judgments acknowledge the atrocities that were committed, but also the plunder of the country's resources. Why wouldn't you want all of that money back in the hands of the Filipino people?
Well, we the narrative.
May I just ask you why that's funny?
Where that?
Why that's funny? I'm asking you a question about the plundering of large sums of money from the Filipino people.
I'm thinking that maintains, that idea maintains, because I take exception to many of the assertions that have been made, and I think we have since the cases were filed, the government fell. Cases were filed against me, my family, the estate, etc. And up to now, we have found the assertions that were made, we have shown to be untrue.
Quite a lot of money. I think 5 billion was already recovered. I guess the question is just this: do you not want to see all the money that was taken returned to the people?
Again, we have signed. This family has signed a quitclaim. Signed many quitclaims. Any money that you find is yours. And finish. And everything was taken from us. We were taken to Hawaii. Everything was taken from us. We had nothing left.
Not the view of the Presidential Commission.
I'm sorry?
Not the view of the Presidential Commission. This is my final question on this topic.
Which Presidential Commission?
In the Philippines. Their view is there's a large amount of money outstanding.
I think that having seen the facts, as they have been slowly revealed, with further true investigation, not propaganda, but actual true investigation, like court cases and investigations by all kinds of NGOs, different agencies. Since that has changed, and people can see that it was propaganda.
Sabi ko, the only option that we have is social media. Kaya doon kami nag-concentrate. Kaya nag-hire ako ng libo-libo na troll army.